I am 99 years old this year. At this age, I not only have a neurosis about investments, but I have an even stronger one, a meticulous hygiene when it comes to human relationships. Many people ask me, "Charlie, why are you always so happy, so long-lived, and so free of vexations?" My answer always surprises them, because I am exceptionally good at cutting off associations. I've spent more time in my life vetting people than reading financial statements. The moment I determine someone isn't worth keeping, no matter how rich, how powerful, or how talented they may be, I immediately and thoroughly excise them from my life. I won't do business with them, I won't dine with them, and I won't even appear in the same room. The social balance sheet and opportunity cost. It sounds cold, doesn't it? It should. But this is the first piece of counsel I must give you. You must be ruthless in your social calculus. Your time and your energy are your most expensive assets, and you cannot permit them to be stolen. Most people's social relationships are a disorganized mess. You fail to calculate your social balance sheet. What constitutes a social asset? These are the people who bring you energy, wisdom, or tranquility. When you're with them, your thinking becomes clearer and your emotions stabilize. That is an asset. They add value to your life. What constitutes a social liability? These are the people who deplete you, make you doubt yourself, or drag you into the mire. When you are with them, you feel exhaustion, anxiety, or anger. That is a liability. They subtract from your life and sometimes multiply your misery. The most appalling thing is that many people are carrying enormous social liabilities, but dare not clean them out. You endure terrible friends because of vanity, because of the social proof tendency, or for the sake of supposed conformity. You think cutting ties is hurtful or shows immaturity. Wrong. Severing ties is a form of self-protection. It is the highest level of maturity. I want you to grasp a cruel mathematical logic. Opportunity cost. If you spend an hour with a bad person, you lose an hour you could have spent with a good person. If you listen to an hour of foolish complaining, you lose an hour of opportunity to read timeless wisdom. Life is a finite, zero-sum game. Saying yes to a bad influence is, in effect, saying no to a good one. I made this error when I was younger. As a lawyer, to expand my practice, I forced myself to deal with all sorts of people. Some I disliked from the moment I met them. Their values were flawed, they were dishonest, or they were extremely negative. But I tolerated it. I told myself it was the price of professional growth. And what was the result? These relationships not only brought me no benefit, but they caused a pile of trouble. They didn't just waste my time. They nearly made me as bad as they were. This point is critically important. I call it the unconscious mimicry principle. Humans are copying machines. If you surround yourself with 5 fools, you are guaranteed to become the 6th. If you surround yourself with 5 dishonest people, sooner or later, you will start to lie. This influence is insidious. You won't even realize it until you've already been assimilated. This is why I set an iron rule for myself very early on. If I do not respect a person, I will absolutely not work with them, nor will I befriend them. This is not merely moral snobbery. It is a survival strategy. If you want to win this race called life, you must curate your environment. You must ruthlessly prune your social tree, cutting off those dead branches that not only bear no fruit but actively steal the nutrients. Only then can you direct that limited nourishment to the fruits that truly matter. This may sound mercenary, but trust me, It is the highest respect that you can show to your own life. When you learn to cut ties and learn to refuse, you will find your life suddenly becomes lighter, your judgment sharper, and your luck seemingly improves. You have simply sealed the black hole that was leaking your energy. So specifically, which 3 types of people must you immediately, without hesitation, cut ties with? In my 99 years of experience, I have categorized 3 types of highly toxic individuals that you absolutely cannot afford to keep. If you have just one of them around, your quality of life will plummet. If you have several, your life might be ruined. I will now reveal the first type. These people seem pitiful. They might even elicit your sympathy. But they are, in fact, energy vampires. The 3 categories to eliminate. The first type of person I firmly cut ties with and advise you to immediately distance yourself from are those deeply entrenched in the victim mentality. If I were to summarize my nearly a century of experience, I would tell you, self-pity is the worst spiritual poison known to man. You have certainly met these people. In their world, every failure is someone else's fault. If their job goes poorly, the boss is an idiot, or colleagues are scheming. If their investments fail, the market is rigged, or the big players are harvesting. In short, the world owes them everything, and the world is out to get them. They are always the innocent victim, and everyone else is the persecutor. They look pathetic, and they might even trigger your compassion. You want to comfort them and help them. Do not. The moment you get close, you discover they are a giant black hole of energy. They don't need solutions, they only need a listener. Or more accurately, they need an accomplice in their misery. They will drag you down by repeatedly chewing on painful details, pulling you into that emotional mire of resentment and blaming others. For a victim, solving the problem is irrelevant. What matters is proving how wretched they are. Once they prove they are wretched, they have a justified reason not to work hard, a justified reason not to change, and a justified reason to comfortably fail. This is a twisted psychological reward. When you accept the identity of a victim, you voluntarily surrender control over your own life. You turn yourself into a leaf caught in the current. Wherever the wind blows, you drift. And a person who cannot control their own life cannot possibly accumulate wealth, much less happiness. Remember my creed: never feel sorry for yourself, and never tolerate those who constantly feel sorry for themselves. This is the first defense of your energy field. Clean this type out, and your world will be instantly quieted. Next, you face the second type. These people are more dangerous than the victims because they often appear extremely charming, highly capable, and might even be your idol. The second type I firmly cut ties with are those morally flawed, smart people, the talented scoundrels. I have one hiring principle. If I see exceptional talent in a person, but simultaneously detect even a small moral flaw, I will instantly discard them. I would rather have a mediocre talent with high character than a brilliant talent with low character. Why? Because talent is the engine, and character is the steering wheel. The more powerful the engine, the faster the car speeds towards ruin if the steering wheel is crooked, and the greater the destruction it causes. This is not just a moral issue. It is a probability issue. A person's character has consistency. You cannot expect him to be a cheat in small things and suddenly become a saint in large matters. In the business world, trust is the most efficient form of leverage. Warren Buffett and I often conduct business with a single phone call without needing a contract because we built a seamless web of trust. Working with morally flawed, clever people means you spend all your time defending against them. This internal friction will exhaust you for a lifetime. My strategy for this type is zero tolerance. Do not try to change them. Do not try to exploit them. You think you can harness their talent, but you are merely playing with a tiger's stripes. After cleaning this type out, your career might move a bit slower, but your foundation will be solid enough that you can sleep soundly at night. This is the second line of defense for your life's capital. Next, we face the third type. This person may not be a complainer or a crook, but they possess a trait that, if not isolated, will make you unknowingly dull and mediocre. The third type of person I firmly cut ties with, and advise you to avoid like the plague, are those cognitively closed sleepers. I have found there is only one true form of death. It is not when the heart stops beating, but when the brain stops learning. They usually died around the age of 30, though they aren't buried until they are 80. They formed a fixed worldview and promptly shut the door to their minds, refusing any new information, refusing to correct any old opinions. The cognitively closed person hates admitting they were wrong. To protect their pathetic ego, they will distort facts, attack the truth, and even fabricate lies to deceive themselves. This is what I call psychological denial or intellectual denial. For this type of person, my strategy is, do not argue, just walk away. Never try to teach a person who is pretending to sleep. If you try to convince them with logic, they will attack you with emotion. The danger is that stupidity is contagious. If you spend long periods with a cognitively closed person, you will unconsciously agree with them for the sake of harmony. You will slowly lower your cognitive standards. In time, your brain will rust, your vision will narrow, and you will lose the ability to self-evolve. For a person aiming for wealth and success, this is a death sentence. The friends you need are those who challenge you, those who read the books you haven't, and those who are open-minded and embrace change. This pressure for compelled growth is your life's most precious fuel. Rebuilding the seamless web of trust and solitude. You have cleared out the complainers, the scoundrels, and now the sleepers. Your social circle may have shrunk considerably. This is precisely the effect we want. Only by pulling out the weeds can the remaining space grow true crops. Many ask me, how did you manage to know Warren Buffett and Bill Gates? I follow the oldest and most fundamental principle. If you want something good, you must first deserve it. You want to befriend an honest, smart, and generous person. You must first be an honest, smart, and generous person yourself. Warren Buffett and I built a seamless web of trust. This trust reduces all transaction costs to zero. Business that takes others 3 months of negotiation and dozens of pages of contracts. We settle with a 5-minute phone call. For your new social circle, my mandate is, be extremely lean and extremely selective. You don't need 100 average friends. You need 3 to 5 intimate comrades who pass a strict screening. They must be optimistic, principled, and open-minded. When you follow my advice, you will notice something startling. You become lonely. Many fear this solitude, thinking it's a sign of failure. But I tell you, this solitude is your life's medal of honor. It is the required admission ticket for pursuing excellence and freedom. This solitude is not loneliness. It is a high-level freedom. You are no longer depleted by chaotic people and events. You have abundant time for deep thought, reading, and genuine family companionship. True success comes not from how many people you know, but from how many people are truly worth knowing. This is the last piece of life wisdom I, at 99, want to leave you. Remember, the quality of your life depends on your ability to say no to the wrong people. Protect your energy, safeguard your character, and treasure your time. The rest, leave to compounding.